Welcome to Maths for All. I'm Aisling Flynn. This is Statistics 1.7, working with frequency tables. So firstly, reading frequency tables and understanding what they mean. Here we see on the top of the table we have a variable x, so they are our pieces of data, okay, the answers to the questions, and underneath we have frequency f. Now frequency means how often did that piece of data occur. Okay, so for example, there are 9 ones, 9 twos, 6 threes, etc. Now if we were to find the mean or the standard deviation of these, that would be a lot of values to enter one by one. Okay, to calculate the mean we would have to add all the values and divide by how many. Okay, so we'd have to add 9 ones, you see those here. There's 9 ones added in there, plus 9 twos, plus, well, there's not quite 6 threes, etc. Okay, and then we'd have to divide by 38. So how do I know there's 38 in total? Well, you can use the frequency there too. So if we do 9 plus 9 is 18, 28 plus another 10 is 38. So when you total the frequencies, you get the total number of values. Okay, so that would be very, very time consuming. Okay, and very easy to miss or add in a value. Okay, or we can use a multiplication, okay, which would be quicker. Okay, we've done 9 ones plus 9 twos plus 6 threes, 4 fours, 7 fives and 6 threes. So that's much better. And you get a total on the top line of 114 and divide by 38. So that's how you do that for the mean. Okay, and you get equals to 3. The mean is 3. Okay. Okay, so instead of doing it manually like the previous slide, how would you do it on the calculator? Well, firstly, you have to ensure that the frequency function is enabled on the calculator to be able to enter the table as shown. Okay, here are the instructions how to do that. And now I'm going to play the video.
Okay, so I'm starting in statistics mode here. Here's where I would put in values. Now notice that there is no second column here for frequency, so we need to enable that. So to do that, we go to Shift and Setup. There's a huge menu here, but we don't see what we need actually. You have to press down and we get more options here. And I'm going to select number 3 for statistics options. Okay, 3. And here you see frequency on or off. Now I want frequency on for my frequency tables. I'll press number 1. Okay, now if I go back to where I input data, one variable, here now you see that the frequency column appears. Okay, and I would leave it like this. If you don't need frequency, if you're just doing a few values like we did in the previous video, you'll see the frequency automatically comes up 1. Okay, but we will need this column in this lesson.
Okay, so now we're going to enter the data from our frequency table, and the instructions again are here on the left.
Okay, so we are inputting the values from our frequency table. So let's go to mode. We're doing statistics number 2, and we're studying one variable, number 1, and we're going to enter the values. So I'll enter the variables first because the calculator automatically scrolls down. Okay, so the top line of the table, the variables are 1 equals to enter 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I'm finished there. Alright, but I do want to go back. You see the frequency automatically comes up as 1, but I do want to go back and change that. So I'm going to scroll up. So beside the 1 I had frequency of 9, so there are 9 ones. Press 9 and press enter and you see that's changed there. 9 for the 2s, 6 3s, 4 4s, 7 5s and 3 6s equals. So there's my frequency table entered, and I can press AC now.
So there's my frequency table entered, and I can press AC. So first we're going to calculate the mean of those values we've just inputted from the frequency table, and remember that we've already worked it out, it is 3. Here are the instructions on the left. You can follow them
To
as we
find
play
the
the
mean
video
of the
here.
values we've just entered in the frequency table, we're using the statistics function at the button 1 here, okay, to study the data. So shift and 1, select number 4 for variance, alright, and to calculate the mean we'll select number 2, okay, x bar is for mean, 2 and equals, and I get a mean is 3.
Okay, and secondly we're going to find the standard deviation. If you recall, we didn't work that out, but the answer is going to be 1.6543. Okay, it would have been very time consuming to do it manually. Here are the instructions.
Now I've come back to a blank screen by pressing AC. Again, remember the data is still stored in the calculator, and I'm going to calculate the standard deviation now. Shift, number 1 for statistics, number 4 for variance, and number 3 for sigma x. Sigma is the standard deviation. And press equals, and I get 1.64 approximately.
Okay, so now slight variation in the frequency table now. Something that you might use when making a histogram are frequency table with intervals. Okay, so things like ages, you go from 0 to 4, for example here, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16. Okay, and you see that's the variables in grouped intervals on the top line, and underneath you have frequency just like before. Okay, so how to calculate means and standard deviations from this type of table? Well, we use what's known as a mid-interval value. Okay, so to read this table, there's a number of pieces of data between 0 and 4. There are 2 of them. Okay, and what we're going to do, we don't know what each individual piece of data was, but we're going to approximate them by getting an average between 0 and 4, now, or the mean rather. So remember, how do you get the mean? You add up, so 0 plus 4 and divide by 2. So you get 2 is the mid-interval value there. Okay, so mid-interval values are values that are halfway between the minimum and the maximum of an interval. Okay, the table above becomes this. So if you use your mid-interval values, okay, the top line, mid-interval values, okay, so 0 to 4 becomes 2, 4 to 8 becomes 6, 8 to 12 becomes 10, 12 to 16 becomes 4, and 16 to 20 becomes 18. Again, if you had different values and you didn't find it easily to find the middle, you do as I just demonstrated up there. If we did it for the last one, you do 16 plus 20 and divide it by 2, which would be 36 divided by 2, which gives you the 18. Okay, and the frequency remains the same. Alright, now you have a regular looking frequency table just like the previous example. Okay, and here I want you to pause the video. I want you to use your calculator. I want you to find the mean and then find the standard deviation. Okay, and I'm going to display the answers now in 1 minute. There's your mean. The mean of that table is 11 and the standard deviation is 4.36. Did you succeed in getting that with your calculators? Okay, so more practice. Firstly, the quiz and frequency tables, followed by the written exercise.